Welcome back to the Explanation Pro. Today I'll recap a sci-fi, action film called Logan's Run. Spoilers incoming. In an alternate dystopian future in 2274, the remainder of the new humans live in an enclosed city under geodetic structures. This curious place is built for an idyllic lifestyle and is controlled by a highly advanced computer that monitors living conditions, including human breeding. Everyone residing in the city has lived indulgently, always seeking pleasures. With the risk of overpopulation, it is decided that every individual subjects themselves to a mysterious rite of passage called carousel when they reach the age of 30. Under the guise of renewal, this ceremony will kill the person chosen to participate. Somehow, a person is embedded with a device called a life clock crystal upon birth to take note of the limit. This is seen on the palm of the left hand that changes to a specific color determining their duration. People in the city will eventually know if it is their last day when the device starts blinking. Most citizens look forward to renewal despite the vagueness of the event, but some do not support it, attempting to leave the city by any means. They are designated as runners, and to subdue their rebellious behavior, a police force known as Sandmen make it their mission to catch runners and dispatch them as they break the law. On a particular day of duty, Sandman Logan 5 is in a laboratory looking at artificially born infants. He points out to his fellow Sandman, Francis 7, that his sperm donation led to a newborn named after him, Logan 6. The two later leave the nursery and proceed to the monthly carousel event. A huge crowd of citizens gathers in the auditorium to witness the rite. Apart from the Sandmen's black ensemble, all attendees are instructed to wear color-coded attire indicating their age, with yellow for the young, green for the middle-aged, and red for the oldest members. The event seems very exciting in the eyes of the attendees, as the idea of rebirth has been instilled in their minds. The ceremony commences as masked individuals, assumed to be the age of 30, come to the middle of the arena dressed in white gowns. They are asked to stand around a giant lotus as they raise their palms with blinking lights toward the ceiling. The platform then starts to move while a massive light beam strikes the center of the arena. Curiously, the participants remove their robes and reveal their flame-like clothing as they float to the top of the beam and explode one by one, signifying renewal. The crowd, including the two Sandmen, is enthused by the ceremony, cheering for them. Close to the end of the event, Logan 5 receives an urgent call about a runner trying to flee from the west entrance. The man looked previously suspicious when Francis 7 passed by him moments before they went to the auditorium. As the Sandmen arm themselves, they chase him across the facility, even taunting him while the man is visibly scared. With nowhere else to go, he is shot off the balcony. After the termination, Logan 5 scans his face to identify the suspect positively. Interestingly, as he confiscates his possessions, he takes an ankh clenched on his fist, which is an unusual item to carry but shrugs it off as a possible theft. Afterward, the remains of the runner are melted by a futuristic vaporizer controlled by a cleaner. Logan 5 tells Francis 7 why the man chose to run instead of renewing, but his colleague asks him not to linger about it to celebrate a well-done job. As an elite member of society with a sensitive position, Logan 5 lives lavishly in a stunning apartment. After having a drink and relaxing, he decides to call for a woman to spend the night with. With a click of a button, a young lady named Jessica 6 appears, wearing the same ankh pendant the runner was carrying. Though she is expected to do pleasurable things for Logan 5, the girl seems a bit aloof and much more interested in his apartment. He excitedly brings her to the sofa to kiss her, but she rejects him immediately, informing him that she is grieving the recent death of her friend. The Sandman dismisses her feelings about his death, insisting he is reborn somehow, but Jessica doesn't accept this, believing that the carousel is a death sentence. Logan 5 starts getting suspicious that she is a runner herself but calms down when he finds out she is only 6 based on her life clock. As he feels more intrigued about her, in comes Francis 7, fondling two young ladies looking to fool around with him. Jessica takes the opportunity to storm out of the apartment before the room is filled with party dust. The following day, Logan 5 and Francis 7 report to their headquarters while reviewing some information on runner activity. With the confiscated object in hand, Logan 5 takes it to the computer for analysis. He learns that the ankh is a symbol for a secret group whose members help the runners find a sanctuary, a mythic place where they will be safe to live out the rest of their lives. He is shocked also to find out that the Sandmen have lost 1,056 runners this way. The computer instructs him to find sanctuary and destroy it, a mission codenamed Procedure 033-03, which he must keep secret from the other Sandmen, including his closest colleague, Francis 7. As he speaks out his concerns, the computer changes the color of his life clock to flashing red, suddenly making him 4 years closer to Carousel. The Sandman panics, protesting if the 4 years will be restored to him when his mission is completed, but receives no response. He leaves the room in a quandary on how to proceed with time running out. After a quick conversation with Francis 7 in the pool, he returns home and summons Jessica, believing she knows how to solve his predicament. He nervously tells about his shortened lifespan while showing her the ankh identical to the pendant on her neck. She grows furious, accusing him of killing a runner for the ankh, though he reasons out that it was part of his job. Believing that Logan 5 is setting her up for a trap, she leaves in a huff as he begs for help. He secretly follows her and sees her communicating with members of a runner group. She is revealed to be a runner herself when she discloses that Logan 5 knows about the sanctuary to her friends. They instruct Jessica to eliminate him before he discovers their operation. She returns to the Sandman's apartment with her new mission and brings him down to the arcade. Just as she sets him up to be ambushed, he gets an alert about a runner in the cathedral, so he quickly goes to the area, bringing along Jessica. The two take a mode of transport and chase after the runner. They turn up in a dangerous quadrant of the facility filled with cubs, individuals considered unsuitable for a life in the main complex because of their animalistic nature. After they get distracted by a poor little girl, the cubs appear, surrounding the two as they plan to steal their belongings and kill them. Logan 5 threatens them while he brings out his side pistol, shooting a few rounds to scare them away. With the area now clear, he starts his scanner to pinpoint the runner's location. Within seconds, he catches her, but instead of taking the young lady back to headquarters, he sets her free out of sympathy. Before they leave her, he gives her a pellet that will expel blinding gas. Their help is for nothing, though, as she gets executed by Francis 7, who has followed closely behind the pair. Logan 5's noble actions change Jessica's view of him, deciding to forego her mission to kill him and help him evade the Sandmen, who are now aware of their situation. Knowing his life is jeopardized by what he did, Logan 5 goes to a medical professional to get a cosmetic procedure to change his appearance. While Logan 5 is being prepared for surgery, Jessica implies to the doctor that he is now a runner, which baffles him. During the procedure to narrow his cheekbones, the doctor gets a call from headquarters about the manhunt. Knowing the truth, he quickly turns against Logan 5 by manipulating the surgical table to attack him. The rogue Sandman swiftly jumps out of the chair as the doctor tries to strike him, only to be lacerated by the burning lasers. After a while, Francis 7 goes to the clinic to confront his partner about the runner he let go earlier, but he gets punched in the face before Logan 5 and Jessica escape the mall area. Francis 7 makes chase but loses track of their whereabouts after bumping into a few people. After passing through a pleasure palace, the pair of runners make it to a tunnel. Before being interrogated by a group of runners, he turns on a device revealing his location to the other Sandmen. The faction immediately distrusts the rogue Sandman, having never heard of law enforcement running away. Suddenly, Holly, the nurse from the clinic, arrives and defends Logan's actions, telling them he is a runner. They let him through, and the pair are advised to follow the tunnel leading them to the city's periphery to reach the sanctuary. Logan 5 wants Jessica to stay behind, but she insists on being with him. Their conversation is cut short when an explosion occurs, and a team of Sandmen infiltrates the area. Francis 7 corners then, only for Logan 5 to shoot back at him so he and Jessica can flee downstairs. The pair eventually reach a door that can be unlocked with the ankh as a key. Jessica tries her pendant, but it falls and gets lost in a puddle of water. Logan 5 decides to use the other ankh to open the door. They cross to the other side just as Francis 7 tries to stop them. Fortunately for him, he finds Jessica's ankh and continues tracking them down. He sees the pair running around the breeding pens and shoots the glass, letting water out and flushing them to another room. After they get on a lift, they lead themselves into a frozen cave and change into fur coats to keep them warm. In the cave, they meet Box, an intelligent robot designed to capture food for the city from the outside. Logan discovers, to his horror, that the robot also captures escaped runners and freezes them for food. Before Box can do the same thing to the pair, Logan 5 forcibly grabs his gun, causing it to shoot the ceiling. The cave then starts collapsing on the robot, giving them a chance to leave through an exit. Once out, they stand in awe of the sun shining from afar, unaware of its existence until now. They climb down the cliffside and reach a waterfall that leads to a forest area. Unbeknownst to them, Francis 7 is following closely behind. After walking for a while, they rest for a moment on a pile of rocks. Jessica freaks out when she sees a lizard crawl toward her, so Logan 5 encourages her to keep going to find water. Later, as the sun sets, they sleep in each other's arms near a tree. The next day, the pair reach a pond and go for a swim. Realizing they have feelings for each other, they kiss. Later, they notice that their life clocks are no longer operational. As they continue the journey on foot, they discover that the remains of human civilization have become a wilderness. In the middle of their exploration, they find an old, seemingly abandoned city that was once Washington, D.C., based on the monument. In the ruins of the United States Senate chamber, they discover an elderly man living with many cats. His appearance is shocking to them since neither has ever seen anyone over 30. The pair become confused when he mentions he had parents at one point in his life, unlike the residents of the city grown in laboratories. After revealing that his hand has no implants, the old man recounts what he remembers about the fate of humanity outside the city. Logan 5 realizes that sanctuary has always been a myth, much to her disappointment. While the old man entertains them with artwork and books, Francis 7 appears, holding Jessica at gunpoint. Losing his sanity, he wrestles with Logan 5 as the rogue Sandman fatally wounds him with a pole. Before succumbing to his wounds, he sees that Logan's life clock is clear and assumes Logan has renewed. After burying Francis 7 in the cemetery, the pair persuade the old man to return to the city with them as proof that life exists outside the domed city. They travel back together and camp out in the middle of their journey back to the cave entrance. The next day, leaving the man at the waterfall, the two enter the city via an underwater tunnel and try to convince everyone that Carousel is a lie and unnecessary. The two are captured by other Sandmen and taken to the computer, interrogating Logan about Procedure 033-03 and asking if he completed his mission. Logan 5 insists there is no sanctuary. He declares that all he found was old ruins, exposed, an old man, and that the missing runners were all frozen. These answers are not accepted by the computer, even after scanning Logan's mind, and the computer overloads, causing the city's systems to fail violently and release the exterior seals. Logan 5 and Jessica flee after shooting the Sandmen, holding them captive. Other citizens follow suit as they hurriedly abandon their beloved city. The residents fearfully run chaotically after the entire city is ruined. As the domes are destroyed, they are introduced to the outside world for the first time. Later at the waterfall, they see the old hermit, considered to be the first human they have met who is older than 30. A woman comes closer to examine him, followed by the rest, which seem curious to touch his skin. Watching from above, Logan 5 and Jessica wave at the man, delighted that everyone sees proof that they can live their lives much longer. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.